So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm recording this before I go on my holiday, so expect there to be a little bit of, I don't know, just a sort of don't care kind of attitude, alright? But I want to talk about this. My friend Neo made a banger tweet. He says, Spider-Man 2 drops, awesome gameplay, serviceable story, missing many features and suits from previous games, we're working on it, doesn't elaborate, 4 months later, still nothing, Spider-Man 2018 had 3 DLCs, a new game plus out by now, only bad suits incoming. Now, to be honest, the most horrible out of all of these is the future suits, making a bunch of absolute random people that no one's ever heard of be able to make your costumes, because they're garbo. I mean, look at the state of them. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is going on? But the reason I wanted to make this video was because there's a conversation in there about whether or not fans are going overboard for wanting New Game Plus out right now. You know what I'm saying? So let's go into it. So Neo said, gotta do some housekeeping first. The hack has nothing to do with how they launched the game unfinished. PlayStation did rush them, but the game has been in development for 4 years. More than enough time to add a replay game option. The hack is completely awful and obviously affected plans. Now, this is something that I want to address really quick, is that this is 100% factual. Okay, producing New Game Plus now might be a struggle, okay, and that is something that the hack will have jeopardized 100,000%. But I do think that, you know, you've got to look back a little bit and say, well, the only reason that New Game Plus is not, you know, is not out at a good time anyways, because it should have been there at launch. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, so it's okay saying let them cook, but they didn't even, you know, they brought out a meal that was unfinished to begin with. You know, they're still bringing in the sausages on your full English breakfast. You know what I'm saying? But then he said, post-launch, don't misunderstand, I like Spider-Man 2, but I can't ignore that Insomniac and PlayStation didn't do an amazing job all around with Spider-Man 2. It launched missing core features, added post-launch to the previous games that they know players would want. Miles had some of these features immediately as well, which just proves again that it was rushed because Miles was a shorter game, which meant they could put more of that stuff into the game as well, and that's still released with bugs regardless. You're able to turn into a freaking lamppost, you know what I mean? But again, the games are still good, but I think that the idea of treating them like absolute untouched development masterpieces is a little disingenuous. Someone said, to be fair, PS4 Spider-Man DLC were way too short. Maybe giving them at least a full year to work on them is actually good. No excuses for New Game Plus though. I'm actually shocked that Spider-Man 2 would release with any DLC, to be honest. That kind of, to me, disrupts the flow of the end of the game where Peter retires and stuff like that. But like, New Game Plus, again, like this person said, it's sort of just like, it should have just been there anyway, you know. But then again, you've got Ubisoft trying to... Was it Ubisoft? It's not Ubisoft. It's the people that make the new Yakuza. They're trying to charge for New Game Plus, which is ridiculous. And then Evan Falaka. Now, just really quick, I don't mind Evan. I do not mind Evan, right? I don't. But I needed to include his point in this video because, one, I want to address it, and two, he's a bigger person who was responding directly to this. He said, gee, it's almost like their entire company's employees were viciously attacked and had their next decade of projects unceremoniously leaked out, which they're still recuperating from. How impatient do you have to be to complain about not constantly receiving free content? Now, this is quite ironic coming from one of the biggest Marvel's Avengers haters on that I knew. And same with Suicide Squad and things like that. Like, you know, talking about, you know, where's Spider-Man, for example, right, in the Avengers days, which free content. But, you know, I understand kind of what he's trying to say, but some of the responses do sort of get what Neo's trying to say. He said, these features should have been there at launch. Of course, no one's saying otherwise, but they're working on the update that will include all those features and more, and by the time it's out, it will resolve a majority of people's issues. It's just a matter of time until it drops. For people claiming the game was rushed, y'all really want them to rush this update. I don't think there should be a but there, because I feel like you're saying, you know, don't worry guys, they're going to, you know, add these things in. To me, what you're kind of saying is that, like, you're okay for games that you like to launch in states that are not 100% realized. Okay? Now, to me, the fact that this is happening now means that it was probably going to be there at launch, right? Now, is it an unfinished game? Now, can you say it's unfinished? No. because you can play from start to finish and the game is complete. Now, is it half-baked? Is it rushed? Absolutely. There's plenty of the parts of Spider-Man 2 that are rushed. I did a review ages ago where I called it one of my favourite superhero games of all time. It is, because the gameplay is absolutely phenomenal, but there's a lot of points in that video that I now don't agree with because time has passed and the rose-tinted glasses are completely off. And I think that this is a dangerous outlook, because Evan will be that type of guy that will slate the new Suicide Squad, slate games for having issues, even though people can say, yeah, but they'll patch them out later. And then there's Evan here saying they're working on an update that will resolve these features, so just shut up, basically. And then someone said, come on, Evan, you're better than this. Expect more from your 320 million PlayStation sequels. These features should have been in the game at launch, especially as we're all paying more for it over the first game. I don't know what he means by that last part, but $320 million on this game, you know, you have to understand, like, where did that budget really go? What's happening? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of dosh. And then Vaughn Niller said no one would be having this argument about free content at the game launch in a complete state instead of being rushed. Now, I struggle with this concept of what does that even mean, right? Because complete state for me is being able to finish the video game, right? Rushed is not having the, like, there's being bugs and there being, like, you know, there's, because, I mean, they've said it themselves, the game was rushed, right? But I've always said that, I've said to my friends anyway, this is the best rushed game I've ever played, but it was still rushed. It still has missing features that were definitely needed, that, you know, there wasn't promised, but were sort of set as a precedent, yeah, from the last game. And then we got an opposite side of this saying, anyone complaining about Spidey New Game Plus and DLC not being out yet needs to shut up and go get a fucking life. They don't know you entitled baby shit. Y'all make me want to punch something. Which, yeah, fair enough, mate. I don't want you to punch me. Let me know what you guys think anyway in the comments. Be nice to each other, and I am going to go on holiday. See you later.